Yeah. Do you want to? You can go to me now. I think so. Yo, welcome. Are we on? Are we live? Is this thing real? All right. Hello, welcome, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Name that show. There it is. All right. Hello to Sean and hello to Charles. Hello to Jim and Eddie. Glad to have you guys doing something a little different today. Where am I looking anyway? Okay, hi. So we're in our last preparations for the doors to come open here at the building. And so we moved the camera from the center aisle on the floor, which is where it has been, to the sound booth. So we have it zoomed in. I'm looking, I can see myself on the back. So anyway, we have so it's nice picture. I mean, really a nice picture. Oh, you went wide now? Well, I can't, because I got a delay anyway. Anyway, so we've got some fun things that we can do. We can change camera angles and all that good stuff. So real quick, let me just verify. Can you guys hear us okay? Is the sound good? We really need to know that. This is our, oh, there it is. Now it's caught up. This is our probably last test before we jump into live church on Sunday. So, but we're excited. Jerry was just here. Jerry's our tech guy, and he was just saying it sure is nice that we've had 15 weeks to get everything set up just right. Which is funny, except it's not funny, because it really has taken us 15 weeks to get everything just right. So, but that's all good. Hello, Cindy. Hello, Celia. Hello, Karen. And Lou. Hi, Kathy. Looks like sound is good. Awesome. Gail says she can hear and see clear. That's nice. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. You like that? Thanks, man. I'll send you a message on your beeper. A wolf. All right, so Brian was up in the sound booth helping out with getting some stuff set up. He's going to another meeting that he's got going on right now. So anyway, we're here, we're ready to go, and it's action time. Action. So it's Tuesday. Welcome to Ask Your Pastor. Let's see, who have I missed? Oh, Kathy Davis. That's nice. I always like it when Kathy Davis can join because, well, I hardly ever see her. It's good. Dorothy and Jeanette, hello. All right, guys, it's good to have you. It's Tuesday. Don't forget to like and share the broadcast today. See how many people you can get on here that you know and I don't. And don't forget to say hi if you're on. Also, tell your friends if they want to say hi, they should go over here to the Glen Park page and say hello. All right, so Pat Ashton just jumped on. I got a call. I got to make this call again. It's a plea, really. I think, Pat, I want to invite you to Glen Park Church on Sunday. And I'll let you choose if you want to come to the 8:30 or the 10:30 service. Either one. I'm totally fine with it. But I just think you should come. So I'll see you Sunday, right? Let's see what she says. Da, 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 da. Anyway. All right, guys. This is Ask Your Pastor. This is a 1-hour broadcast. We do 3 days a week. It's Q&A with me, Mr. P. All right, so tomorrow is Wednesday, and on Wednesdays we have our 7 p.m. Broadcast, and I tried to bring on somebody special on Wednesdays. Tomorrow, I'm very excited to bring you a very close friend of mine from right here in Wichita. Her name is Piper. Piper's coming in at 4 foot nothing, weighing 45 pounds and fighting out of the red corner. I don't know. But anyway, Piper's coming. So Piper is my cousin's daughter, my wife's cousin's daughter. So she wanted to be on Ask Your Pastor, and she's put together some questions that we can talk about. And so I'm really excited to have her on here. So that's tomorrow. Make sure you tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. It's going to be a good time with Miss Piper. Oh boy, Dorothy's in the hospital. Uh-oh. Hope you're doing all right. Hello to Mark Hall. All right, so there's two ways that you can ask questions, and most of you probably know this if you're returning to Ask Your Pastor for the 52nd time, and I'm glad you're here. I think 52. I figured it up yesterday. Let's see. Some of those statistics that we get to talk about once in a while. Oh, 51. Tomorrow will be 52. 51st. The 51st. Ask Your Pastor live on Facebook. All right. Well, so anyway, welcome to Ask Your Pastor Tuesday edition. June 30th, 2020 at 2 o'clock. All right. So if you're new to Ask Your Pastor, it's a 1-hour broadcast we do 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Monday and Tuesday, we do it at 2 o'clock. That's why you're here today. And tomorrow, which is Wednesday, we'll do it at 7 p.m. And I realize that's close to your bedtime, but it's a good way to kind of drift off to sleep. So make sure that you tune in tomorrow at 7 o'clock. It's going to be a good broadcast. I really feel like we got some really fun stuff coming up tomorrow. And so make sure that you check it out. I have a very special guest joining me tomorrow. And so tune in, 7 o'clock. All right. So what we do is we ask questions, answer questions for an hour together, 3 days a week. You can ask your questions two different ways. You can either email me at pete@glenpark.com. Just put that in there for you. Or you can put your comments right at the bottom of the page where it says write a comment. So be sure and do that. For instance, Gail just asked a question in the comment section. Thank you, Gail. Gail asks, are you going to continue these after we open the building? Yes. Well, I changed that. The church is the people, right? So after we open the building up, after we start having regular services, people coming in, the answer is yes. So through the month of July, we will continue to do 3 day a week Ask Your Pastors. After July and probably beginning August, the beginning of August, we'll probably reduce her down to 1 day a week. We'll do one broadcast of Ask Your Pastor a week. That will be decided probably within the last couple of weeks of July as a definite, but the elders have shared their concern with me of making sure that I have enough time to study and do other things. Once everything gets back up and running, they'd like me to go to 1 day a week. I'm okay with that. And so it'll make that one broadcast that much more special each week. So we will not, so Brian, I think he's going to do one thing a week as well online. And so we're excited about that. Now, Brian's, Coffee with Brian's going to be a little bit different throughout the month of July because he's going to be at camp. So the first week of July, he'll have a broadcast that has been filmed on location at Prairie View Camp. So I know he's excited about that. And so check that out next Thursday, Coffee with Brian. Hello to Nancy. All right, so make sure you like and share today. And we will get started here in just a few minutes with some questions. If you have questions, I'd love for you to send those to me either via email. I put the email address in the comment line, so just back up just a little bit. Or you can put them right here in the comments, and we will take those as they come. I don't think that I have any in my inbox right now, so I don't have any on my list. So check it out. Send me something. Otherwise, I'll just pick a spot and we'll just start reading. Let me invite you to, actually tell you what, while we're waiting for some questions to roll in, let me explain to you what happens throughout the week here right now. So for the last 15 weeks, we have been trying to keep in connection with you, church, via social media. That's kind of been our way to do it. We also have a call team, and a number of us call all the people from Glen Park that we have phone numbers for. We call, and so we've been trying to connect that way as well. But here's what we do on a weekly basis so that you can tune in and check out a few things, or you can always go back into the archives either on our YouTube page, our Facebook page, or our web page, which is glenpark.org. And you can go back and listen to sermons on the web page or either one of the social media outlets, or on YouTube or Facebook. You can go back and watch different Coffee with Brian's, Ask Your Pastors, and things like that. So I want to invite you to do that. But here's what happens. Mondays, we do Ask Your Pastor at 2 o'clock, and then Brian does Zoom Hangout, which is a Bible study that he does with the youth group at 6 o'clock on Sunday. So if you have a teen that needs to be involved with a youth study, Brian would love to have them on, so you can email Brian, Bryan, at Glenpark, GLENNPARK.com, and he will get you the information to sign up to that on the Zoom. So Tuesdays, we have Ask Your Pastor at 2 o'clock. On Wednesdays, we have our midweek messenger that goes out at 12:30, and that is a email kind of newsletter of all the happenings of the week, a little note from me to you, and just ways to get connected. There's a button on there if you want to give online. There's a way to give online, and then other information that you need to know. If you're not on that list and you'd like to be on that list, you can either email me or you can email office@glenpark.com. Say, I want to be on the mailing, and we will put you on that email list. So then Wednesday night, we do Ask Your Pastor at 7 p.m. On Thursday, around noon, we send out the Sunday set list, which is a link to our YouTube music page. And it gives you the 3 or 4 songs that we're going to sing that week. So you can start listening to those, put those in your own playlist, learn what they are, start to enjoy them, let those speak to you. And then Thursday morning, we put out Miss Becky's Corner on our Kids Men page, which is our Facebook. It's just Kids, Kids Men, MIN. And Miss Becky puts out a 10 to 15 minute broadcast every week for her kiddos as well. So check that out. Also, Thursday, we have Coffee with Brian at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Fridays are kind of your day to not have to deal with us. You're welcome. And then Saturday, we send you an email around noon or noon 30 with the lyrics for the songs that we're going to sing on Sunday. Now, that will continue through the month of July. And we'll assess again, of course, at the end of July to see where we need to be at. But we anticipate a large return back here to the building, and social media, Facebook, YouTube will also be catching some of our Facebook for sure. We'll be getting our broadcasts on Sunday mornings, which are will be at 8:30 and 10:30. Facebook will get a 10:30 service posted on there. So let me I messed up. All right, I want to thank Jim for pointing out a little mistake here. Pete at Glenpark There's two N's in Glenn. Let's not forget that. I'll erase this other one so we don't make that mistake. And delete. Perfect. All right, so Sundays coming up. The reopening, the regathering. Are you ready? I'm ready. I'm ready for Sunday. So, doors open Sunday morning around 8 o'clock. Service starts at 8:30, and we'll also have one at 10:30. So 8:30 and 10:30, pick which one you want to come to. Come ready to sing. Come ready to be encouraged by God's word. Be ready to be encouraged by what God has been doing in this time of separation. I think that you will be pleasantly surprised at all the things that God is doing. So, shout out to Irene down in Destin. How are you guys? Hope you're having fun down there in the sun. All right. Anita, I want to say hello to you, and April as well. Thanks for jumping on. Perfect. All right, guys. So it is 17 minutes after 2 o'clock. This is Ask Your Pastor. This is where you ask questions. I try to give you answers. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. Sometimes you like them, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you agree, and sometimes you don't. That's all good. Nobody said we're going to agree all the time, and that's all right. As long as we agree on the major things, that's what's important. So if you have questions, put those in the comments or email me, pete@glenpark.com. And we will get those questions and we'll start to answer those for you. So until then, I'm going to have to find something for us to talk about, which could be fun. Let's see. I'm really excited this week. So this week we're going to take a break from our Philippians study. So we've been doing our walk through Philippians. We're calling it For the Lord and for Wichita, a study of the Church of Philippi and how it applies to Glen Park. And so we've been taking the good things, we've been taking the bad things, we've been taking the way that they do church and those kind of things, and we're kind of putting them as a litmus test up against Glen Park, and we're finding out where do we need to change both personally and corporately in order for the gospel to go out better, and also what kind of things do we need to keep and stay the same. I mean, that's important as well. I don't want you to think that I'm saying everything we do here is wrong. That's incorrect. We have a really great situation going on here, a really great system. But there are always ways that we can improve. And so we're looking for the things that we're doing that we should keep and keep going with and do more of, and things that we can improve on both personally and corporately. So we are in the 4th chapter of Philippians. And we probably have 4 weeks left. But this week we're going to take a break. We are going to be in Psalm 122, if you guys want to read ahead. A pretty exciting verse, especially given our situation. And probably I shouldn't say verse, but a chapter. Probably a chapter that has been and will be preached at a majority of churches as they open, I'm guessing. I would like to think that I was smart and somehow came up with this idea that we should preach about Psalm 122 because it has everything to do with what we're doing. But I'm sure it's pretty unilateral for evangelical churches across the country. So I'm sure that we'll see others doing the same thing. Either way, hello to Chrissy Honkamp. I'm glad you popped on. Glad to have you here. Gail wants to know how the church sale went. So we had a garage sale last week. Well, it was not really a garage sale. It was a gymnasium sale, I guess. We had it in the gymnasium, and it was full. It had a ton of stuff. And Thursday was such a good day that Friday became half-price day just to get rid of the remainder of the stuff. And we had planned a 3-day sale that ended in 2 days. So it went very well. We got rid of a lot of stuff. God is very good. We got to meet a lot of new families in the neighborhood that we've not had communication with before. We've got to invite a lot of people to come visit with us on Sunday. And we got to have even some kids sign up to go to camp. And I mean, really, it was a really eventful time. So short of, yeah, it's good to get rid of stuff, and the money that we made sends kids to camp, and that's good. But the connections that we were able to make with people in our community, hands down, was a bigger blessing than anything else. And so I'm excited to see if some of the folks that we met at the sale, if they will be coming to Glen Park at some time in the near future. So very cool. I don't remember. I'll have to ask Brian when he pops back in, but I can't remember how many kids we were able to send because of the amount of money we raised, but we were able to give some scholarships to at least every kid that's going to go, and so that's really cool. Yeah, so it went really well. Very pleased with that, and God is good. God is good. So, indeed, indeed. All right, so excited for this week. So tell me, it's time for you guys to get involved in this a little bit. Tell me by your comments, how excited are you that this weekend is the reopening? How excited are you? We're sitting here, walking through the building, making sure we got everything done and picked up and put away, and we've done a lot of stuff, not like crazy things, but we had painters in at one point to fix some stuff that they messed up before, and we have a new table that's called our New Here table. The New Here table is for people who are, well, you got it, new here. And so when they come in, they've got a place where they can get some kind of coaching and instruction. If they have kids, where they need to go, where the auditorium is. That we'll have eventually we're going to have a little welcome cup that'll have our logo on it and be filled with information about Glen Park that they can take home. And so we're excited about being able to put those in people's hands and just welcoming people at our New Here table. So for those of you who are going to be coming on Sunday, let me encourage you now, and maybe share this with your friends as you talk to them throughout the rest of the week. I know that when people come in, they tend to kind of stand in the kind of front way where everybody's kind of standing, right outside of Boomer Hall and at the bottom of the stairs, and they congregate. So I'm gonna push you either to be upstairs in the auditorium or in Boomer Hall to congregate and have fun and talk and do those things, to leave the runway open for parents coming in that need to take, well, I guess we won't have kids stuff this first month, but we will have, so we might as well get in the habit of not cluttering a whole lot. But we have our big map, and some of you haven't had the opportunity yet to put your pin in the map. I'm excited I almost forgot about that. I'm looking right at it. So we have this huge map of the city of Wichita and the surrounding area, and we want you to put a pin where you live so that you can see how vast our footprint is as a body of believers called Glen Park Church. And so we want you to come and put a pin in so that you can say, this is where I live, and I can see that I have family over here, and family over here, and family down here. And we have a number of pins in the map, but I know that we don't have anywhere close to all of them. So come ready to put your pin in. Come ready to see people, fellowship. Just don't stand right inside the doorway. Either go up or go into Boomer Hall. That would be awesome. All right, so Jim and Daddy said, can't wait. Gail's ready. She's really excited to worship. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes. Anita, I don't know how much it costs to send a kid to camp, unfortunately. That's something that Brian would have to answer, and so if he pops back in here later on, I'll ask him and see if we can get a solid answer on that. Want to say hi to Pat. Pat, hope you're doing well. Thanks for jumping on. All right. Don't forget, you guys can email me, pete@glenpark.com, or you can text, not text. You can put your comment in the comment section. In text, I guess. The letters that you use will be a text, technically. font, whatever. So don't forget to do that. Put your questions in, and we'll go that way. Now, I want to encourage you. I don't know how many of you come back on Wednesday evening at our 7 p.m. Broadcast, but I want to encourage you, find a way to get here tomorrow. Find a way to get here tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. right here on Facebook or YouTube, depending on where you're watching, because I have a very, very special guest tomorrow. Very special guest. And she's very, very interested in being on Ask Your Pastor. And so I've made an agreement with this young lady that she could come be on Ask Your Pastor if she came up with questions for us to talk about. And her first response was, well, I don't know how to do that. And I said, well, you got a few days. Go home and make some questions. And I can't remember if it was today or yesterday, I got a picture of her list of questions. And so tune in tomorrow to meet a very special guest of mine coming tomorrow, 7 p.m. It'll be great. All right. Checking things out here, see what I missed. I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but I'm looking at my computer, so I'm seeing what you see. And what I see is that we have, the picture quality is really clear, really clean. And I hope you guys are thankful for that, because we have been super, super blessed by the Lord to have the cameras that make this super clear picture donated to us. And they would cost us a lot of money. God has been super gracious to us to have such an ability to put out a good production, a good broadcast every time we get on here, and so it's really neat. So I hope you guys like that. I hope it's big for us. One of the biggest things for us is if we're going to put something out, we want it to be quality. We want you to enjoy it. We want other people to enjoy it. And so it's good. All right. If you have questions, put them in the comments. If you don't, well, I guess don't put it in the comments. But if you have questions, I'll try to catch up with my mouth here. If you have questions, but you don't want anybody to know who's asking, I'm down with that. Email me, Pete@glennpark.com. So that's Pete, P-E-T-E, at Glenn, G-L-E-N-N, Park.com. Pete@glennpark.com. And if you do that, it'll come to my email, and I'll read the question, but I will not say who it's from, and that'll be our little secret. Nobody has to know, and I'm down with that. So, we're all good. All right. I was talking with a friend of mine today, a pastor friend of mine from up in Iowa, and we were talking about this coming Sunday because of the reopening and 2 services, and I joked with him. I said, probably be the shortest sermon I've ever preached. And he said, really, how long? And I said, well, it might only be 20 minutes long. And he's like, yeah, right. And so anyway, I said, we got a lot of things going on this Sunday, and we're going to have a lot of people come up on stage, and there's just going to be a lot of action. So I'm really super excited. I feel like the kid that's waiting for Christmas or to go to Disneyland or something like that. I'm really, really, really excited. So I have to pretend like I'm not. Otherwise, I won't make it till Sunday, and I'll have some kind of a, happy attack, or I'm not sure what'll happen. But it could happen. So, hello, Rilla. Who else we got? If I didn't get to say hi to you, that's because I can't see you. So say hi. I'd love to know you're here and just give you a quick shout out. If that's okay. If you don't want me to give you a shout out, that's fine, but it's nice to know you're here. All right. All right, so if you have questions, send them in, put them down in the comment section, or send them to me, Pete at glenpark.com. I'm going to see if I can find us something to read here, something for us to study. You know, it's not really hard to find something in the Bible to study. It's what do we have time to study, really, is the question. What can we fit into 30 minutes? Or less if people, start to ask questions, which would be awesome. All right, I have to take a minute. I have to take a second. And I have to say hello to my friend Madison. Madison was my trainer, my gym trainer gal. She whipped this body into shape at one point in time, and then I let it go, so that's my bad. Sorry. I do feel bad about that. But anyway, Madison came to know Jesus while I was in the gym, not in the gym, but another guy that we were at the gym with led her to the Lord, which is really cool. And now she's marrying a guy who really loves the Lord, it looks like anyway. So I'm super, super excited about that. So Madison, what's up? And Madison has a new, like a gym-looking thing and it's His Glory Alone Fitness. That's what it is, His Glory Alone Fitness. So I'm going to give a shout-out to HGA Fitness for Madison. Check it out, HGA Fitness. And I think that, Madison, maybe you can tell me if I'm wrong, Madison used to have an app that you could have on your phone where she would actually work with you interactively on your exercises, your eating habits. She's a nutrition nut. I mean, like, if there's something to do with nutrition, Madison knows it. So she can help you out. HGA Fitness, check it out. Give her a hand because she's awesome. Oh, Anita, that hurts. That's too bad. Hopefully it won't be long before we can get you here. All right. Glad you guys are here. We got about 30 minutes left in the broadcast today. So the whole purpose of this is to ask questions. So check it out. That's what we do. Ask your pastor. Kind of the ask part is kind of the clincher. But anyway, you can ask questions two ways. You can ask them by comment at the bottom, or you can email me, Pete at glenpark.com, and Glenn has two N's, GLENN park.com. You can ask all kinds of questions. You can ask questions about how to debark a tree. That's a good one. You can ask questions about how to set up fake plants, like arrange them. You can ask that. How to properly clean a ficus tree. Not a real one, which I learned the other day. There are actually real ficus trees, I guess. I've only ever seen the plastic ones, so I learned something new. So there's lots of things, lots of ways, questions that you can ask, and I'd be happy for you to do that. And that'd be good. Lots of questions. All right. Yeah, that's good, Charles. As excited as a child waiting for school to start so they can greet all their friends. I think this will be like the first time in history where kids will be excited to go back to school. You think? I mean, they kind of got it taken away. Now they're sitting at home all the time, bugging each other, and they're probably begging to go back to school. We'll see. Madison, you rock. That's cool. Well, I have a confession to make. This is my first cup of coffee for the day. Got up and didn't drink any. I went to Hutch this morning and didn't drink any. Came back, and luckily, Brian had saved this much coffee. So I got to have some coffee. It was good. Why would you debark a tree? Well, that's a great question, Anita. If you're making a wooden canoe, you would want to debark a tree. If you're building a log cabin, you would want to debark a tree. If you're making a recurve bow, you would want to debark the tree. There's lots of reasons I think that you would debark a tree. Maybe the bark is too loud and you just want to debark that tree, you know. I don't know if I've ever seen a dog debark the tree. I've seen deer debark it, but deer don't bark. But dogs bark. Look at me. I have no idea. So I think there's reasons to debark a tree. Maybe not a living tree. That probably is not the goal. Probably kill it. But that's a good question. Why would you? All right. I got something I just want to read to you here. This is in Luke chapter 5. Luke chapter 5. So if you guys have your Bibles, go to Luke chapter 5, and let's talk about proper timing response to God's call. So if he's asking you to do something, telling you to go somewhere, laying on your heart to say something, what is the proper response time to obedience to what he's talking to you about, what he's saying to you, okay? So this question, we all know the answer is, well, you should do it right away, right? I mean, we all know that, but the reality is do we actually do that? No. Most of us can comfortably say, no, my timing is not quite right. So, in Luke chapter 5 and verse 27, Jesus is out walking around, and he runs into a guy named Levi. Now, we know Levi as Matthew, the same Matthew that wrote the Gospel according to Matthew, which is the first book in the New Testament. But he had a name prior to meeting Jesus, which was Levi. So, verse 27 of Luke chapter 5 says, after this, he, being Jesus, went out and saw a tax collector named Levi sitting at his tax booth. And he said to him, follow me. Okay? Next words. And leaving everything, he rose and followed. That's interesting. It doesn't say that he waited, that he finished out the day, that he packed up his stuff, that he called in a sub. Nope. It just says, and leaving everything, he rose and followed him. Now, I need you to understand, I don't need you to, you need to understand the severity of what just happened. Jesus walks by a tax collector who is a Jewish guy, who works for Rome, who steals money from the Jewish people to give to Rome, and then he takes a little bit off the top for himself. So he's really stealing from his own people to support the people who are putting his people under oppression, but he gets treated a little bit better because he's willing to be a traitor to his own people. Nobody likes Levi. Tax collectors were jerks and dirty people to everyone else. They would have booed him or thrown things at him or talked poorly about him as he walked by to his tax booth. Every day, people hated him. But he was rich. He was rich. So that's why he kept doing what he wanted to do, because he was rich. But Jesus walks by. It doesn't say that he had any other interaction. But Jesus walks by and he sees him sitting in his tax booth and he said, follow me. Now, if you're a tax collector and somebody says, follow me, the chances that you're going to follow them are pretty much zero, because they could be leading you to a dark alley where they're going to assault you and leave you to die. Good option. It's a reality. So chances are the normality of him actually getting up to follow somebody randomly who comes up and says, "Follow me," are zero. But when Jesus says to him, "Follow me," it's the next words, "and leaving everything, he rose and followed him." So he left money unattended right there. Left the money. He left his booth apparently open. He left potentially the doors unlocked if there were doors. He left his chair, his desk, anything else that he might have had. He just got up and walked away. And it doesn't ever say that he went back. Now, this is a dangerous thing for Matthew or for Levi to do, because that's Rome's money now. So he's abandoning this very lucrative job. He's abandoning the money that he's stealing from the Jewish people for Rome, and that Rome claims full rights to. It's our money, Rome would say. You guard that money with your life, Levi. But Levi saw something worth more in value than the money, than all the things that he had. So, think about today, those rich people that you know, they have all kinds of stuff. We read about the rich young ruler who came to Jesus and said, "What do I need to do to inherit eternal life?" And Jesus is like, "Well, you know what the rules are." And he's like, "Well, I've done all the rules." He's like, "Well, go sell everything you have then and follow me. Let me be the Lord of your life and not the money and the things." And the boy or the man left sad because he had many things, and as far as we understand, probably left Jesus for good and never to return, never to receive forgiveness of sin, because he wanted what he had more than he wanted Jesus. So, when God calls you to do something and you hem-haw around, you're actually not obeying like you should. So if you have kids and you say, "Hey, go put your dishes away," I wonder if what you're actually trying to say to them is, "Hey, go put your dishes away whenever you feel like it." Really, it's more of a suggestion. I don't think that's how you feel. I think how you feel is, "Hey, go put your dishes away." I'm not talking about 5 minutes from now. I'm talking about now, go put your dishes away, right? You expect your kids to get up and do whatever it is that you've asked them to do immediately. Why? Here's why. Here's why I expect it. Because I know that my kids are going to forget in 3 minutes. I know that when I say, "Hey, pick up your dishes and take them to the dishwasher," if I don't say, "Get up now and do it," then in the morning they'll still be there. Because, they're watching TV, they're playing a game or something, and this happens to us as adults, it's not just kids, right? My kids are adults, but when you're focusing on something else and somebody comes in and says, "I want you to switch gears and do this," you say, "Okay," just so that you can get back to whatever you were doing. When Jesus says, "I want you to do something," the correct response is the response that you actually expect from your children, which is to do it right away. To leave everything and follow. So the challenge for you is this. When Christ asks you to do something, when the Father asks you to do something, how quickly do you respond to the ask? Do you say, "Yes, Lord, I think you're right, and I'd like to think about that a little bit and kind of come up with a plan and formulate what it's going to look like and put together the pros and cons list"? Or do you say, "All right, I'm on it, let's go"? Go back to the Old Testament when God calls Abram and he says, "I want you to go to a place where I will show you." Abram and God were not well acquainted. God called Abram out of a very sinful home, a home that made idols for people to worship. God calls Abram out of all the people. I want you to go to a place I'm going to show you. And without asking a whole bunch of questions, he loads up everything he has. He packs up, he grabs his wife and his nephew, and he starts to travel. To where? Don't know. Just because God said, I want you to go, and I'll show you where I'm going to go. The incorrect answer for Abram would have been to say, can you send me a map? Can you, how long should I be packing for? Am I going to stop and get fuel for my camel? I mean, where are we at? Right away, he gathered his belongings, his wife and his nephew, and he left. And he started to go wherever the Lord would show him. So, where are you at in that? Are you willing? We talked about this the other day, I think at church either this Sunday or last, or online service here, about, do you even believe what you say you believe? Are you willing to get to know Jesus like you need to, so that what you're doing actually makes sense to you? Are you ready? Are you willing that when God says go, you go? I mean, there's lots of people like Jonah. When God said go, Jonah said no. You don't want to be like that. You don't want to fight that battle. That's not a fun battle to fight. So let me encourage you. When God says to do something, respond quickly, immediately, and do what he's asking you to do. He has a plan. He has a reason. There's a purpose for him asking. So just do that. All right, I want to say hi to Kale and to Amanda. What's up, Amanda? I want to say hi to Charlene and to Carol. Thanks for popping on, guys. Appreciate that. Let's see. All right, guys, we have about 12 minutes left in our broadcast today. If you have a question, you can put it in the comments at the bottom of your page, bottom right hand probably. Or you can email me, pete@glennpark.com. That's Pete, P-E-T-E, at Glenn, G-L-E-N-N, park.com. I do have a question that came in on email that I want to answer on another day because it will take a bit longer that we have. And so if you can give me a couple days, we'll hit that one on Monday probably. That'll be good. All right. All right, guys, so let me just re-invite you to come to Wichita, if you don't live here already, on Sunday. So this Sunday, 27th and Glen, southwest Wichita, you find this building sitting on a very nice piece of property with a ginormous parking lot. And inside, well, when you get to the doors, what you're going to find is that the doors will be unlocked. Yeah. That'll be new. That's something that hasn't happened since a long time ago, almost 16 weeks. So this Sunday, we'll have two services, 8:30 and 10:30 right here at the building, and you are invited. So tell your friends and your family, your neighbors, the people that you work with, and invite them. We want them to come. We want people to come and hear the gospel of Jesus Christ. We want people to meet Jesus. We want them to see who we are here, and we want them to be a part of what's going on. And so invite people to come 8:30 or 10:30, and we're just so excited to be here. Now, we will have a service broadcasted at 10:30, which is our normal time, and so we decided to keep with the 10:30 time slot for service being posted on Facebook, and I think think YouTube. I'm not totally positive, but I think they're going to broadcast on YouTube and Facebook. Originally, at one point, it was just going to be Facebook, but they do what they do. The tech team does what they do, and so I'm just kind of like, you do what you got to do. So check it out on Sunday. If you cannot be here, check us out online. There's going to be some fun stuff happening on Sunday, and I don't want you to miss it. So please, if you can come. If you can't, check us out online. If you're not ready yet, if you're not comfortable to get out and be around people again, that's totally fine. Stay home. Check us out online. We're really excited to be back where we were. All right, there's something that somebody had asked me the other day, and we haven't talked about this for a long time, and I don't like to talk about it a whole lot, but I will because somebody had asked me. So the question is, like, how can we be giving? And we haven't really talked about this since, I don't know, maybe the first month of COVID. We hit it pretty hard, and people had asked a lot. And but we have two ways that you can give to Glen Park Church. And so one way is you can mail your money in or whatever to our office right here, to the building. And the address is 2757 South Glen Avenue in Wichita with a zip code of 67217. So you can find that on glenpark.org, which is our website at the very bottom. Or while you go to glenpark.org, at the bottom you'll see a sign that says click to give here. And if you click that button, it will take you right to a little thing that you fill out. It takes about 5 minutes. Probably doesn't even take that long. Probably takes 2 minutes. You could give online in 2 minutes if you want to, either from a checking account, savings account, credit card, however you want to do it. So if that's something you want to do, you want to give to Glen Park, we would appreciate that. That'd be great. We're not asking you to, but if you want to, it's available for you. That's something that we. As we talk about the partnership or the membership, people who are part of Glen Park, we have some expectations, which are that we help get things done here, and part of that is giving, and but some people don't come and they want to give anyway. So I'm just throwing it out there. There it is. I'm not talking about it anymore. All right. So we've got 8 minutes left. 7 minutes left. If you guys have a question, put it down in the comments, or you can email me, pete@glenpark.com. Got one popping in here from Miss Gail. That's good. All right, let's go. Let's go to Hebrews 11:11. Get your Bibles out, Hebrews 11:11. I don't know that I'm going to be able to answer this one. This is good. I've never even thought about it. It's a really good question. Let's read God's Word. What a great chapter Hebrews 11 is. So, if you grew up like me in church and somebody told you one time that Hebrews 11 is kind of like the Hall of Faith, it talks about people having faith and some of the things that happened. And so verse 13, let's see, that's Hebrews 11:11. So verse 11 says, by faith Sarah herself received power to conceive even when she was past the age, since she considered him faithful who had promised. That's there's something right there that I think we can grab onto. I think there's something we can grab onto. So let's read verse 12 also. Therefore, from a man, and him as good as dead, were born descendants as many as the stars of heaven, and as many as the innumerable grains of sand by the seashore. So it's a conversation about Abraham and Sarah. Sarah being old, in her 90s, Jesus telling her, you're going to have a baby, her laughing, which is why they called him Isaac. Laughter. And it says that by faith Sarah received power to conceive when she was past the age because she considered him faithful who had promised. So there was a promise. There was a moment of laughter where she laughs behind the curtain as she hears the words, your wife's going to have a baby. She laughed. Nobody heard her, except for when she was approached by the angel of the Lord. He said, Sarah, you're going to conceive and have a son. And she said, well, how's that going to happen? I'm so old. And he said, do you remember when you laughed? I didn't laugh. Yeah, you did. So at the onset of the conversation, which she wasn't involved in, at least she wasn't supposed to be involved in because she was inside and the conversation was happening outside, she hears this guy come along. Maybe she hadn't quite figured out that her husband was talking with angels and the pre-incarnate Christ. Maybe she hadn't figured that out yet. And she heard, hey, I know you guys are old, but you're going to have a baby. She's like, yeah, I'm old. We ain't having no babies. I'm past that stage. That's how I feel some days. Like, I'm past that stage. Well, she was past that stage a few days more than some of us. Anyway, but there was a promise, and they held on to that promise because it didn't happen right away. In fact, in her sin, and we can share in this, can't we? That in our sin, we typically don't wait until God does what God does, but we get to a point where we're like, okay, God, I feel like you probably should have did this by now, and I'm not sure if I missed it, or if this just ain't going to happen, but I'll take matters into my own hands. Like, we do this as well. Maybe not to the degree that she did, but we do this as well. We try to take matters into our own hands and say, okay, God, I know you said that. I know you promised that you would take care of me. I know that you promised that you would provide for me, but I'm not seeing it right now. And I don't really want to wait because that means I got to push my faith a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and go out and I'm going to go find cans so that I can buy a gallon of milk because I know you said you were going to provide, but I don't see that yet. So I'm going to go do it on my own. I mean, that's that same mentality of somebody saying, you're going to have a baby, and you wait a few years, no baby. Tell you what, maybe what we're supposed to do, taking things into our own hands, maybe you're supposed to have my servant, and you should have a child with her, and it'll be mine, and it'll be fine. Well, when we try to take things and put them into our own hands, we tend to mess things up pretty well. And so, but she believed that God was going to give her a baby. She did believe that. And it's so wonderful that God blesses us and keeps his word when we're faithless. He's faithful all the time. Rarely are we faithful for a long stretch. We tend to drop off from time to time. But by faith, however little she may have had, she received power to conceive, even though she was old and past the age of conception. And it's because she had faith and she believed in God, that what he said he would do, that he was powerful enough. In fact, even in her going against, she's trying to figure out in her own mind, how is he going to do this? Maybe Hagar needs to step in. Even in that, she knows that God promised her a child, even though she went the wrong direction. She was trying to figure it out on her own. So I guess that's how. She did laugh. She did doubt. But once she was confronted, she believed. Sometimes before we're confronted with the truth, we laugh when we hear about the things that could be, until the truth comes and says, no, actually, I'm the truth. You should listen to me, right? So, thank goodness that God loves us and is faithful at all times. Hi, buddy. All right, guys, we have come to the end of our day. Appreciate y'all being on here. Don't forget to come back tomorrow at 7 o'clock. It's going to be a good time. Some very special guests. Miss Piper's coming. So come and be with us tomorrow at 7 p.m. All right. We're going to do our battle cry. Are you guys ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3. For the Lord and for Wichita. All right, guys, we love you. See you tomorrow.